are you today? Happy Tuesday. Did you guys have a good Monday? Welcome to another edition of Chalking with Babycakes. Today, though, we're not going to be chalking. We're going to be inking. All right. So, for those of you who's this your first time chiming or watching in, why can't I speak? Okay, I'm going to try to get me going over here real quick so I can see your comments. Because on my little screen over there, little old eyes right here, and I won't be able to read your posts. So I'm going to try to get it pulled up over here so I can see your comments. All right, perfect. I got it up. I think we're ready to go. If this is your first time checking in with me, I am Jennifer with Babycakes Creations, and I make some really cute home decor, gifts, and more. I call it Perfectly Imperfect because I'm not a big box store cookie cutter kind of person. I like to make everything kind of a one-off. So that's kind of where I get my groove going, I guess you could say. So today we're going to be doing some inking. And what you may or may not know, if this is one of your first times watching me, is I use reusable silkscreen stencils. So they're sticky and they're reusable, right? And most of the time, if I'm doing different types of wood surfaces or chalkboard or whatever, I use a washable chalk paste. And on a porous surface, it's not going to wash off because it gets down into the pores and it won't wash off. But on a chalkboard surface, it will wash off. So the whole premise behind it is you have one surface and you can change out your design whenever you want to. Now, if you want your design to go ahead and be permanent, you can do that too. You just don't get it wet. Or you can seal it with a polyacrylic or a polyurethane or something like that. A spray one, not a paint one. If you do a paint one, well, you're going to mix the colors and you're going to run it because the chalk paste will wash off when it gets wet. So you want to make sure to do a spray one, all right? But today we are not going to be doing the chalking. We are going to be doing inking. Same exact process, but I am going to use a permanent ink. And then once this ink is dry, I am going to heat set it, and then it'll be able to go through a washing machine. I can use it on mugs, on different water bottles and stuff like that, and then it'll be permanent. Typically, most of the mugs you can wash through a dishwasher and it'll be fine. Some mugs you can't. It just depends on the mug, on whether it's a dishwasher safe mug or not, okay? So as you guys are popping on, go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from so I can go ahead and say hi back. Today, I have a couple, I'm making these bags. So these are like little burlap bags. They're great. They'd be great for like little makeup bags or pencil cases for when the kids go back to school next year. Hopefully this gets worked out so the kids are back in school next year. Whatever, you know, they can be used for a multitude of different things. Whoa. The first ones I'm going to make though, okay, I got distracted for a minute. The first ones I'm going to make are, I have two customs that I'm going to make, and they're going to be the exact same. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do this one, get all the stencils washed, let them dry, and then I'll go on to the next ones, and then I'll finish up with the second one of the custom after those stencils have dried. Hey Melody, thanks for checking in. Are you cooking something good for lunch? I haven't eaten lunch yet. I think I'll eat lunch after I'm done with this. What are you guys doing today? Today, it's kind of windy and yucky out. I mean, it's supposed to warm up, right? But it's windy and it's cloud covered. I'm waiting for the sun to shine. Now, you might wonder what I'm doing. I have parchment paper here, all right? You might wonder, well, why is she getting out some parchment paper? That's weird. Well, the inks will bleed through. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have a barrier in between since it's a pouch, you want to make sure you have a barrier in there. And I'll just reuse this on each one so the inks don't bleed through to the other side. And you do the same thing if hot dogs. Oh, I love hot dogs. I'm a weird person though, so I like my hot dogs really plain, like with only mustard on it. But then I also do this thing where I eat them with cottage cheese. I know, I'm weird. Hot dogs are yummy though. All right, so when you are doing towels or any other type of fabric surface, you'll want to make sure that you have something underneath your fabric surface, because if you don't, what'll happen is it will bleed through. So that's why I put this little piece of parchment paper down there, okay? So you want to make sure also when you are doing on fabric, so the ink is not as forgiving as the paste is. Remember how I always say the paste is forgiving. You can always fix your mistakes. You can start over from scratch. You can't with the ink. So once it's down, it's down. So you want to make sure you get the squeegee down really good to get a good seal so it doesn't bleed through. And one of the things with like this black ink, the black ink is a lot thinner than a lot of the other inks that I have. It's just the way it is. I don't know, it's weird. So you want to do a very light color and you want it, or a light hand on it, and you want to make sure that you start up above where the silkscreen portion is and just kind of draw it down. And then that will help so it doesn't bleed as much. And it takes a little bit more ink to cover because the ink does get drawn into the fabric. So you don't have as much that you're going to wipe off and put back in the jar. So I'm going to get this out. Ooh, those eyebrows? Eyelashes. I'm not thinking clearly today, guys. I actually got to sleep in today. Yesterday morning I was up at 2:30. It was really weird. 2:30, I couldn't get back to sleep. It was awful. I don't know. My mind was just going absolutely crazy. And then today, I slept in. My husband got up and got ready for work. I heard him leaving, but then I didn't get back up till about 5 o'clock. I know that's still early for a lot of people, but for me, that's sleeping in because normally I'm up about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So what I'm doing here I don't blame you, Melody. I bet you're tired of cooking. Actually, for me, because for the longest time, our schedules are so scheduled. our schedules are so busy that we rarely cook. So during this whole thing, I've been cooking a little bit more often. So that's been kind of cool for us. I used to cook all the time, but nowadays. Hey, Jen, how are you doing? A Jen and a Jen. How are things going out in your neck of the woods? All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to line this up so I can make sure it looks pretty decent. I'm using a bunch of different stencils for this portion, and I want to make sure that it doesn't, okay, there we go. I want to make sure that it doesn't look too off-centered. So I'm using this bee. I have this bee. So I have the eyelashes, and then I'm going to have a B, and then a Y-O-U, and then to full. So the eyelashes, beautiful, and then in the corner, I am going to put a pair of lips. So I think these will be absolutely adorable. Now the B, I am going to make, so I couldn't decide. So if you're on, which I know there are some of you that are on, help me decide. Should I do the B in gold or in this papaya color. So gold or papaya. I think either color would look great. Let me know which one you think. Gold or papaya for the bee. And then I'll go ahead and do the lips while you guys vote for me. Here are the lips. I'm just going to put them down here in the corner. It's going to be quick and easy. And of course the lips are going to be red. Now the red is a little bit of a thicker paste than the black is, so I don't have to be as careful with it. Oh, that looks good. I like it. Oh, well, that's awesome, Jen. I am glad things will be partially opening for you. We have some partial openings here in Missouri as well. I think the dine-in restaurants have already opened. That's cool about the aquarium, though. We don't have a local aquarium. Our aquarium's probably about, well, for me, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. An hour and a half if I want to go down to Springfield. But yeah, it's quite far away. All right, Melody says gold. I'm liking the gold too. I think I'll do the gold. Anybody else? All right, gold it is. Now, mind you, I can always do a different color on the second one because I am doing 2 of these that are going to be pretty much exactly the same. Jen votes for the gold too. That's great because I did it in gold. So if you saw, when I go off camera, I am going over to the water bath and I'm actually washing these as I'm doing it. So this way they can dry. So after I get done with the other 3 pouches, I can do the second custom one. Now, with my stencils, it's just like doing it with the chalk paste. You want to wash your stencils off. You don't want to let the stencil, the ink or the paste dry on the stencil, because if it does, when you pull it up, it will pull up with it. Now, the great thing about the ink is it doesn't dry as quickly as the paste does. So it's a little bit easier to work with in that fashion, but it's still, you still don't want it to dry on there. And then you still want to, I'm going to go ahead and heat this up a little bit. You want to wash your stencil right away so it doesn't dry on the silkscreen portion of it. And then, so I have my water bath sitting over there in the corner. And you'll want to make sure that you don't let the water pull on your stencil, because if the water does pull on your stencil, you can lose the stickiness on your stencil. Now the thing is even though you lose your stickiness, that doesn't mean that your stencil is unusable. Why can't I talk today, guys? That doesn't mean your stencil is unusable. You can still use your stencil after the sticky is gone. You just can't use your stencil if the silkscreen portion of it is stretched, or if it is filled with all the ink and all the paste. So those are some big things. Let me see, what do I want to do? Okay. So now I'm doing the U, and I'm just doing this one in black. And then I think I'll do the to full in gold, just to keep them the same. What do you guys think? Okay, I can tell that there's a little bit. Ooh. As you see, I'm mixing and matching stencils here, and that's the wonderful thing too, is you can mix and match your stencils all over the place. Oh, and that's what I was afraid. So that's what happens. So I will go over the U in a different color afterwards, So this is what will happen, especially with the black ink. What can happen is it will bleed, and I will show you that in just a second. If you don't get it down good enough, and if you don't get it where it's sealed very well, and I have a fly in here too, it can run, it can bleed. So if you see here, the U bled a little bit. I don't like that. And I can't fix it other than the fact that I can go over the U in a different color and then just make it look like the black is a shadow over it. So that's how I fix the things. I mean, I think it's still going to look good. It's just not going to be perfect. But what did I say? I make perfectly imperfect. And that's what makes it uniquely yours, right? Oh man, Jen, that's awful. Our hair salons, most of them opened last week, I believe. So that's why I got this funky new hair color. I actually got to go on last Friday, and got my hair did. I got rid of the Corona hair. So well, I would reuse this one, but I don't want to get gold ink all over everything, so I will use a new one. And since I'm using this on a canvas surface, I am not fuzzing my stencils, even if they're new. When I use it on a fabric type surface, I don't typically fuzz my stencils like I would if I'm using it on a wood surface or a chalkboard surface. And when you're pulling your stencils up, you always want to make sure that you don't do it diagonally. If you do it diagonally, then you won't be able to. You could run the possibility of actually stretching the silkscreen portion of it, and you do not want to do that. No stretching of the silkscreen. All right, so these ones are going to be over here drying, so I can start the next one once they're dried up pretty good. But how did this turn out? Other than the U, which I'm going to fix. What do you guys think of this one? Isn't that cute? So this is a custom order. I have 2 of these to make, but I have 3 other ones that I'm going to make right now too. Well, thanks, Jen. I like it too. I went to my hairdresser. I love my hairdresser. So how many of you love your hairdresser? Let me tell you how much I love my hairdresser. My hairdresser, I have gone into her so many times where she'll be like, Jen, what are we doing today? And I'll be like, I don't know, Lynette, surprise me. So she does. There was one time I actually went into her, and she asked, what we were going to do, and I said, I don't care, whatever. So I was turned around in her chair the entire time, so I could not see how she was cutting my hair. I could not see what color she was making my hair. I just totally left her in the driver's seat. And I didn't know until she was completely done what she was doing to my hair, and I absolutely loved it. It turned out great. There's a lot of people that are afraid to do something like that, but I really trust my hairdresser that much. She's fantastic. All right, so this one, I am using a couple of different stencils. This is a portion of a confetti stencil. So I'm going to do the confetti, and then I'm going to do sparkle on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in 2 different blue colors, because I'm on a blue kick lately. I really do like the blues. So if I can get this open, and this won't take long at all. If I could get my jars open. I tightened them up really good. So the confetti, and I'm not doing the very top portion of it because I don't want all that on there. I just want some of the dots on there. I'm going to do the confetti in this lighter blue. It's a teal color. And then the sparkle The words I'm going to do in this other blue, but the little stars there, I'm going to do in the lighter blue as well. I use a mixture of stencils. I make my own stencils, and I have all kinds of other stencils too. So I have the chalk chore stencils. I just have a multiple of stencils that I use. I like to keep my options open so I can make whatever I want. I've been actually making a lot of custom stencils lately too, which is something, okay, so for those of you who are watching, you know, the other day where I said I'm going to be offering a new service, well, it's going to get posted out tomorrow. But my new service is I'm going to be offering for sure, custom stencils. So I've used these stencils enough, the ones that I've been making, that I'm very comfortable with them now. So I am going to offer for me to make you custom stencils. The price list will be announced tomorrow. And yeah, so I can make them for you and get them sent out to you. They are going to be similar. They are reusable silkscreen stencils. However, not all of them will be sticky like the stencils, these other stencils that I have, but they are reusable, just like these stencils. I did use one of them yesterday, so they're really easy to use. I love using them, and they're good quality. So I like to use everything, but I will be offering, that will be one of my new services. So you guys got to hear it here first because you tuned in. I had been quasi doing custom stencils, but only for people who are coming to my classes. But now I'm going to do the custom stencils, and I'll mail them to you if you want them. So you can reuse them whenever you want to. Didn't that turn out cute? Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it with the light. That light's kind of bright back there. And now we're doing the sparkle. Now, just like the paste, you don't want to necessarily paint the ink on here. So you can just kind of do dollops all over the place. But now, since I do have on this guy, there's the little stars, I have to be a little bit more careful because I want the stars to be in the lighter blue and not in the darker blue. And when I am doing this with the paste, you know how I do the paste and peel method because I don't want to let the paste dry quickly when I'm doing multiple colors on one stencil. The good thing with the ink, I'm trying to get in the corners there, I'm concentrating hard. With the ink, you don't have to do the paste and peel method as much because the ink does not dry as quickly as the paste does. So it's easy to just leave that down and just go over it with the other color. And I'm kind of blending in some of the darker blue, kind of blended in a little bit, and I think that's going to make it look cool. Ooh, I love that. I love this color. All right. What do you guys think? Sparkle. I know it's backwards. Sorry. Oop, I need to take the thing out. I'm just going to lay that down there. Let's see. Let's do this one. This one's going to be super easy because it's one stencil. I don't know. Should I make this one a double color? So this one says, actually, I can. So should I make this 2 colors? Ooh, this one's not as sticky. I don't like them when they're not as sticky when I'm doing them on fabric. It can still be done, but you have to be extra careful because you can't get the seal down as well as you can. And there's a higher potential of bleeding, and I don't like that. So I think, let's see, I think maybe I'll do the top in black and the bottom in pink. Double color, like it. Black and pink. I think that'll be cool. All right. Let me get this guy out. And hopefully I do this well enough to where it doesn't bleed. Because the black, like, remember what I said, the black is a lot thinner than a lot of the other colors, which will lead it to bleed more so than the other inks. So I try to be a little bit more careful with it and not be as willy-nilly with it, I guess you could say. All right, Jen, we're doing the black and the pink. If you see, I'm kind of holding it with my thumbnail up there so it doesn't move around as much, since it's not as sticky. And that's what happens. So I did get a bunch of stencils a little while ago where they just weren't as sticky as the normal ones that I purchased. So they're still usable. It's just not as, you just have to be careful with them. So there we go. Black and pink. I think it looks good. And you see, since I was a little bit more careful with the black, you see how there's still the bottom, it's not as dark. It looks kind of faded. And I could go over that and fix it, but I like the faded color. I think it looks good. Thanks, Jen. I do love it too. Right, here's one. I'm going to do this. I don't even know what color I'm going to do this in yet. So this one says, my head says Jim, but my heart says cupcake. So I think this would be perfect for the person that goes to the gym and works out a lot and needs like a little makeup bag to do their makeup afterwards, or to do their, to get ready afterwards. What do you think? So what color should I do this one? The Actually I Can Melody, it's not sold. I can sell it to you though, absolutely. All right, so what color should I do? My head says Jim, but my heart says cupcake. We're almost done, guys. How cool is that? Perfect, Melody. I will set it aside for you. I have to heat set it first, though. This way it doesn't wash off. All right. So I have another color blue, red, or actually I have green. So I think I'm going to keep this all green because the zipper on this one is green. So I think I'm going to do this one in green. If I can get the jar open. Wow. Oy. See, this is what happens when you don't clean the edges of your jar well enough. It gets stuck on there. Okay, so, but let's do the cupcake. We'll do the cupcake in a different color. You're most welcome, Melody. Thank you. All right, so what should I do what color? Ooh, okay. I know what I'm going to do. Unless you guys have a different opinion. I think I'm going to do the cupcake, or everything in the green, except for the cupcake, I'm going to go ahead and do in the gold. So if you don't like that color combination, speak now or forever hold your peace. Just kidding. I am doing it all in green except for the cupcake. But if you don't like the gold for the cupcake, let me know. Can't take back the green now, though. The green is a done deal. Although I could always go over it in a different color. I do that a lot. So I'm having my next live sale, guys. And this time it's going to be on a Thursday evening, 6 o'clock. And it's going to be a quote-unquote blowout sale, inventory reduction sale. So I have a bunch of stuff that I've had from the beginning that I'm going to go ahead and discount. So I can make room for all this new stuff that I'm creating. So please join me. I do have it in my events tab, so you can check it out there. Say you're going, put it on your calendar. Bring a friend. Okay. Perfect. Well, Jen, that's good. I'm glad you like the colors because that's what I'm going with now. It's almost like the cupcake is a pot of gold. What do you guys think? Well, that's all right though. I think it still looks okay. So the green did bleed a little bit because on the gem there were some lines in there in the stencil. So the green bled a little bit, but I still think it looks good. I don't think it messed it up that much. That'll be cute for somebody who goes to the gym. Put that down there. All right, so I'm going to make this next beautiful. Let me make sure I have them going the same way. Let's okay, this way. Put this in here, and I have to go get the other stencils. So when I'm at my classes, I'll walk around with stencils just kind of sticking on me like this. People laugh at me. But sometimes it's easier because then this way you can find them. Okay, we'll do the eyelashes first. Okay, let me get these off of me so I don't lose them. So should I do this one exactly the same as the first one? So you guys got anything going on for the long weekend coming up? Do you guys get a long weekend? Does the long weekend not matter? Some people it doesn't matter to. Like for me, it actually doesn't matter because I'm kind of off for the next 2 weeks. But for my husband, it does matter because he's getting a long weekend. We're going to go head down to the lake, get the boat out on the water for a little bit. He's going to do some fishing. I think I'm going to take a book to read. We're going to have a grand old time. Ooh, that one came out good. Perfect. I think that's a good idea, Melody. Just change it up just a little bit, for sure. Okay. Put this back. Let's see. Oh, I ran out of the small ones. Oh well. That's okay. Yep, that looks good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now I'm going to dry it for a second. They're canceling a lot of stuff right now, Jen. I know our 4th of July celebration that they were going to be doing here in our little town of Lincoln. We're still going to be doing the fireworks, but the celebration, the other celebration portion of it, they went ahead and canceled. We can't wait till this whole thing's over with so we can get back to a normal. That's right. That's awesome. That'll be good. Having your son and daughter. Have you been able to, I can't remember. Have you been able to see your son and daughter a lot? I remember you had a drive-by seeing, but I can't remember if you have seen them since then. All right, since I didn't do the U well last time, I'm going ahead and making sure I get it down really good this time. Hopefully. We'll see in just a second, right? Nailed it! But I am going to wash the U off again because I need to go over the first one I did where the U kind of bled a little bit. So I'm going to be going over that with the gold. I think that'll look pretty cool. Now, so the BU, now on the other one I did gold and gold. So I'm going to do the tipple in gold as well. Or in the, not gold, in papaya. I'm going to keep the colors together. Make sure I get this good. And the papaya won't be as runny, so that one should do well. Use a small guy because it's a smaller stencil. So when you have a smaller stencil, you want to use one of the smaller squeegees. It makes it a lot easier to not get outside the lines because you can't fix it when you color outside the lines with the ink. Zoom has been a blessing during all this, hasn't it, Melody? I know we haven't really Zoomed, but my mother-in-law's been here the entire time because she came in before I left for England. Okay, oh, that's right there. And so she's been here, and that's been wonderful. But we've been talking and FaceTiming with some of our other families, so that's been fantastic. But it sure doesn't beat that face-to-face human interaction, that's for sure. All right, that one's done. Show you it here in a minute. You get this guy back over here. All right, these were the two customs. What do you guys think? Aren't they cute? So I'm going to fix this guy real quick. So I've become very, very good at laying things back down and getting them lined up well. So it's kind of my thing. So I'm just going to go over this U in the gold just to give it, so the U will now look like it's got a shadow on it. So it doesn't look like I messed up and made it bleed. And I'll show you what that looks like. just like that. Put that in there. And there we go. I hope you guys can see that well. I can't lean over the table too far. I got short little arms. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's inking. Stay tuned. I'll probably be going live again tomorrow around the same time, around noon. Tomorrow, I think we're packing up and getting ready. So Thursday morning, we're heading down to the lake. I don't know if I'll be going live from the lake doing any actual chalking, but I'll come to you and let you see some views from the lake. So let's see here. Well, thank you, Melody, and you enjoy those hot dogs. I think I might go make some. No, I gotta eat my chicken and rice. Darn it. Bye, guys. You guys have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.